Hey guys, and welcome to World 84 Forinthry, and me continuing the slog of bonus XP. We're eventually getting to the end of our hours, and to be fair, for me to do a full bonus XP hour, that's pretty mega. But I'm not here with the bonus XP video, that's going to come tomorrow, and I'm going to run through all 3 accounts. Today, I wanted to go over a bit of a brief overview of what I'm doing to prepare for Runescape's next big update on November the 20th, on Monday, which is related to the Forinthry quest storyline of Vorkath. So Vorkath is already pre-released in RuneScape, but it's released in the 07 version of the game. Now, why I had my stint in 07 and played that version, I did Vorkath, and I did quite a bit of Vorkath because I really wanted the pet. So because of that, I'm just going to go over some similarities between the 2 bosses, what I've got ready for it, and what sort of potions and setup I'm looking at taking, and go through that pretty much. And then after that, we're going to go for a quick overview of the community post. Dragon's put on the homepage, going through the quest, what to expect, and what other stuff to see coming for that update. So in terms of Vorkath as a boss, in 07 it had some main things you needed for it. Obviously, with it being a dragon, you need antifires. Now, the best choice of antifires is the super antifires, which you can have from using a phoenix feather on a standard antifire to create an antifire which will allow you to use a 2H, but also for the longest period of time as well. Let's create that again, like I've said, it's Phoenix Feather on a normal antifire. I do have a video on it, and I'll make sure to make that linked. Now, the difference in price between the two, because we have checked it earlier on, is 12k for a sort of 3-dose potion, and even if we turn this into a 4-dose, so it's going to be roughly about 16,000 coins. A Phoenix Feather is roughly around like 12 to 13k each. So you have 2 options really. You can either buy the normal antifire, get the Herblore XP, and make the potions for yourself, or you can buy the super antifires and just be ready for it from there. Not only that, with Ryziel sort of highlighted some different things for especially Necromancy, which has kind of been touted as the best combat stat for it. Guthix Rest and Sorrow Brews massively spiked because of how useful they were for Ryziel. They didn't damage your adrenaline, so because they were cheap from this bonus XP live, I did invest in 10,000 brews. Now, this was just for my account in general, overall, because I was running low on brews because I basically chewed through them at Ryziel. So I did need to buy some anyway. But I thought, while the bonus XP is on, I'll buy a nice little chunk. But I've just price checked the price of Guthix Rest. They're a little bit over mid, so that's a pretty good price. But for me, they're too expensive for what they are. I'd much rather rock with the brews. Even when they're in a flask, they won't quite be that price. So in terms of other potions which I'm making sure to have stock of, I've got the Adrenaline Renewals and the Weapon Poisons. The Weapon Poisons I'm sort of 50-50 on because in 07, Vorkath Venomed, which was a stronger version of Poison. So I'm not sure if it will be susceptible to Poison, but that's something we'll see on release. Sort of odd potions, Vuln Bombs. I bought some Vuln Bombs because they were cheap in the bonus XP investment video, but they will have an effect on Vorkath because they'll bring the defense down, so that will help me with my kills, especially me because I'm not the best PVMer. Vitality potions, I always sort of stock on these at some point as like a fun investment because they were cheap for a while, but I'll definitely be using these as my emergency sort of like get out of jail card, so they're very good. And then Overload Elder Souls, because this will include my Dragonfire, Poison Immunity, as well as the Overdose all in one sort of potion, so that's very good. Pouches, I'm only going to really focus on the ancient pouches, and that'll be the Reaver, Ripper, Hellhound, and the Calgarian. I think those 4 are by far ahead of the power curve of the normal pouches. Maybe Vorkath will bring something into it where the normal pouches will shine. Maybe it's a Yak Boss, who knows. But for me, I'm stocking up on those just so I have enough, just so I can continuously PVM and I'm not sort of getting caught out by slightly higher prices than normal. So those are pretty much my potions. Again, you'll have a generic brews, restores, and other stuff in terms of your potions, and the pouches as well will also provide like my DPS side. I mentioned earlier that Necromancy has been highlighted and touted as the best method. I kind of look into that as 50-50 because I do think other methods do have a point, as a point of a combat triangle or combat square now, for a reason. So I think there will be some niche situations where other methods could be better, but I do have my Death Dealer and the Ryziel set as well. With the Ryziel set, I do have the Undead Slayer. Maybe it's possible that Dragon Slayer could be better, or could be included on the same setup. The Dragon Slayer ability codex could be worthwhile because it will have a massive buff, similar to how the Undead one was on Ryziel. I imagine that's quite over 88 mil. And to be fair, if I enjoy the boss, maybe I'll look at purchasing it. But for now, I'm going to see what it's like and see whether it's something I can work with as well. But for me, prepped to go in with the necromancy setup, Book of Wen is what I'm going to be using as well. Again, it's whatever works best for you, Mum. Maybe you had the Jazz book from Ryziel. Again, with something like a new boss, a lot of the first sort of day or two is trial and error. Try and sort of detail what works best, what sort of meta, what's not meta, what can quicken kills, what can slow down the kills. It's all sort of one big working out session, which don't worry about having the most optimal kills to start with, because no one will have the most optimal kills to start with. One item which I do think will be absolutely essential though is the Solve Amulet. Now really you should have this from your necromancy training, because it was really like massively boosted for when you're killing the undead monsters for your training. But Vorkath, the Solve Amulet has a massive impact on 07, so I think it'll be mimicked and also replicated in the main game as well. But apart from that, that's pretty much everything I'm going in with. I'd like to keep all my supplies stocked up anyway, and I always like to pick them up when they're cheap. I've got some blubbers as well, so the blubber brew combination can definitely work again. But what I'm basically doing is covering my bets on all the different methods which could work. Obviously, it depends on what the boss is weak to, what mechanics it has. No one will really know the optimal setup, so try and cover yourself with as many options as possible and try different methods throughout the first couple of kills. Maybe you can find that way of killing it a bit better, cut your time down, and just overall practice. And that's the point of a boss release. Yes, it's hyped, and yes, everyone wants to get the drops real quick, but it's about sort of exploring it and understanding it and try and find out gradually over time what's the best method, but also improve your kill speeds. So that's basically my setup for Vorkath. Let me know down below if you've got anything different, or if you think I should do anything different for my setup. Let me know what you guys are thinking on what you think is going to be the most OP methods and what's the best way to kill it. So the second bit of this video was to go over the homepage. So one thing Jagex keeps doing lately, and I'm a bit of a fan of it to be fair, is having community posts related to the update and then talking through the update as a bit of an overall breakdown. And normally this is what you get on day of release, but they're starting to release it a couple of days ahead so people can have a look, understand it, and then sort of pick out things they need. Which I think is very good because it gets people hyped up and it gets people like ready for the update. So again, with this, you will need to unlock certain parts of the quests because it is in the Forinthry storyline. I doubt you can get to Vorkath without completing these quests because Vorkath is part of the quest. So the quests are New Foundation, Murder on the Border, Unwelcome Guests, Dead and Buried, Ancient Awakening. Basically the whole Forinthry storyline. And skills you're going to need is 60 Necromancy, 50 Construction, and 10 Slayer. As well as that, you're going to need the ability to have the Grove Cabin in your fort, as well as the Botanist Bench. And basically, it just gives you a bit of a broad overview of what the quest is going to be, and mainly it's going to be the quest and the battle for your fort. Vorkath is coming to your fort to attack your fort, and it really does give me the Night King and Game of Thrones vibes with the dead dragon, especially when you've seen the trailer. That's all I could really think of, but it looks great, and the trailer they've done for this is great as well. And especially when you see the graphics involved with Forinthry, a quest like this is where I think RS3 really excels and really is good. And it's just sort of the kind of stuff we like a little bit more of whenever it is here as well. And basically it breaks down everything from the siege to the quest to the boss fight. And some of the screenshots we're getting here for the sort of quest, it looks great. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And then the boss fight is going to have a story mode, then a normal mode, then a hard mode. Again, they do this really well as well. You don't really want to jump into hard mode straight away. Some people are just machines and can manage it. Definitely not me. I would be doing the story mode first, try and understand some of the mechanics, then move into mid tier and then try for the harder tier when I eventually feel comfortable with the mechanics anyway. Rewards for the quest are 30,000 Necromancy XP, 1 quest point, and your keys. Because it's 1 quest point, I don't imagine it's a massively long quest, which is what I like about the Forinthry quests, is they're not overly long, but it still keeps the storyline fresh and updated. In terms of drops, you're actually going to receive loot chests, which I think is a nice way of doing it. Here, again, really good video showing how the loot chests are rewarded, and it does show you a new kind of dragon hide, which I think is linked into the new range armor below. There you go. Kind of looks like an ice-dyed dragon hide, but good things there is that you've got some level of alcohols, but you've also got quite a high level of congealed blood. Congealed blood's been on the rise massively because of how expensive a necromancy potion is, and I think bringing it into a game in a decent form of drop will bring that price down. But 600k there for a kill, and even then, I think it was a normal mode kill. Yeah, normal mode kill is pretty decent. Down below, it shows you the new range armor, so we're going to get 3 sorts of sets. So we're going to get the tier 75 sets, which is the Undead Dragon Hide, which is this one here, which links to what we just saw there. Looks very good. Tier 90 though, I love that helm. That helm looks so cool. But in terms of the buffs and stuff, the tier 90s and tier 92s come with powerful set effects, mainly linked to your armors as well as linked to rapid fire. Generates more adrenaline, and especially with the bolts, it gives you a chance to proc more, which I think is very, very good. And it will have its benefits and it will have its place. Really nice update is they sort of touted it in the Necromancy release video of like a Necromancy pouch, because carrying all 4 runes is just too much. So what they're going to release is the Necromancy Nexus. Now this comes in 2 forms. So we've got the Death Warden Nexus, which you can create with Necromancy materials. I pretty much imagine that's going to be the Subjugation Cloth. So that's why Subjugation was going on the rise in Market Watch. I didn't read this before doing Market Watch. Amateur move, I know. So that might be why for that. And then also Zimorgul's Nexus, which if you kill the boss 100 times in normal or hard mode. Which I like because it's a guaranteed drop similar to Vorkath's head in 07, where you only have to kill it 50 times before being able to get that. As well as that, we've got a new incantation, Lord of Bones, which is going to help power up your conjures, which is very nice. And also, we have the boss pet confirmed as Vorkath, similar to 07, and look at how cool that is. That is one of my favourite pets. Along with Vorkath, as if Vorkath wasn't enough content, we've got a piece of content very similar to the Golden Cape in Golden Party Out, where we're going to be looking for a total of 8 shards. By completing stuff we're going to be doing anyway. And this is basically going to unlock a load of cosmetics for our main hand and offhand necromancy weapons. And it's something nice to sort of hype up the Vorkath stuff. Obviously people love cosmetics. They look pretty cool as well. And it's probably something you're just going to be doing. You'll just get it as a reward anyway. One of the things I like it for, mainly I don't really like the cosmetics. That's not bothering me too much. Is if we scroll a little bit below here, the buffs. So the Infinite Porter buff has returned. So what people really love is the portable buff, where you had 3 Infinite Porters for the whole month after you've unlocked this. This is back, and with things like the Christmas promo and the wrapping promo coming soon, I really went to town last year with doing things like archaeology and things like a AFK, and to have an infinite sort of portable charge is going to make that way easier and way smoother for next year. So fan of that. And to be fair, in terms of an update package, they're packing in a lot of things for this month. And again, like I think when we do a bit of a review for all the updates for 2023, I think the things which really stand out most is Forinthry. Like the consistent updates, the consistent storylines have been done very well. I'm a big fan, but yeah, this is coming Monday. I am going to be doing stuff Monday on day of release and at release as well. We're going to do the quest, do the boss, and then release some videos during that as well. I'm basically going to break the Vorkath content into 2 bits. I'm going to do the quest and boss, and then I'm going to do the cape stuff as well, and the buffs and how all that sort of works as well. So, hope you're looking forward to that. If you are, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the video as well, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And if you've got any comments regarding this update, what do you think? Do you think I've missed anything in terms of my prep? What are your sort of thoughts and expectations of this update? Make sure to drop them down below, and we'll always make sure to reply as best we can. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have, please make sure to like and subscribe again. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.